This is Aussie Mac Zone. We'll cover everything Apple, including Macs, iPhones, iPads, and more. All this from an Aussie perspective. Sit back, relax, insert yourself into the zone. The Aussie Mac Zone.
Excellent.
We're brought to everyone by athwebhosting.com.au. This is show 173. Happy New Year to everyone. And don't forget, at athwebhosting.com.au, we've got Australian servers, affordable and competitive plans, 99.95% uptime, domain registration, free setup, auto setup, 24/7, instant activation, accepts PayPal as well as other cards. Over 250 scripts installed with one click, including WordPress, Joomla, and many, many more. We use cPanel, an industry-standard user-friendly feature-rich control panel, and it's from $5.95 per month when paid annually. 24/7 ticket support system and friendly help when needed. So I read the whole lot out because it's the first one for the year.
There you go.
So
got to give Glenn value for his money, right?
Oh,
hang on.
Absolutely. I had to ring him up to ask him a question just before the show, so he answered the call.
Well, there you go.
It wasn't about the website, but it was about... So, Happy New Year, my friend. All your family good?
Everyone's good. Yeah, we've all had a good little break. Well, I don't know about you, but I had to work the 3 days in between Christmas and New Year this year, so I wasn't too amused about that. But still, life is pretty good. How about you?
I've been working the whole time, mate, and I've been doing.
Have you?
I've been doing service stuff, and it's been bashing my head against the wall. I tell you. But anyway.
Oh, I hope you had the public holidays off at least.
I had some of them. But
okay,
that's right. That's all part of the fun, isn't it?
Yeah,
I get to choose which 80 hours a week I work. I'm the lucky one. So, time for celebration. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
Apple iPhone.
That's pretty cool, isn't it?
It is awesome. The iPhone, the device that redefined mobile phone and has helped make Apple the most valuable company in the world, marks its 10th anniversary today. It was on January 9, 2007, that the late Apple founder and chief executive Steve Jobs went on stage at the company's Macworld event to announce the tech giant was to reveal an iPod, a phone, and an internet communicator. But rather than three separate products being revealed, one of the first truly smartphones was unveiled. Since then, Apple has sold more than 1 billion, with a B, iPhones around the world and has become one of the wealthiest companies. Such has been the success of the iPhone that as an individual business, the revenue generated by the phone alone has exceeded that of the sum of its rivals, including Microsoft and Google. Analysts have referred to the device as a cultural icon, and most modern smartphones have been inspired by the iPhone in some form, especially Samsung's. But yeah, how's that? Is that cool or what? 10 years.
Very cool, Michael. Very cool. We're waiting for the 10th anniversary phone in a little while, but now it's I don't remember it being this time of year, but there you go.
There you go. Yeah, it was just around CES. Remember Macworld and CES were close together, and
yeah.
It was,
okay.
So that's pretty damn awesome. And,
absolutely.
And from that comes...
I love that bit of audio too. I might have to grab that and throw it into the podcast actually.
Yeah.
The, where Jobs announces, yeah, it's a phone. Yeah. It's a this. It's yeah.
Do you get it?
It's the coolest bit of audio. Yeah. I'm going to chuck that in there
awesome.
At the end.
Yep. Awesome. Now that introduces the next story, which is the App Store sets new records with 240 million in sales on New Year's Day. In their announcement, Apple gave a few statistics on categories like the top grossing apps of the year, which included Monster Strike, Fantasy Westward, Clash Royale, and Pokemon Go. Following a launch in December, Super Mario Run was the #1 downloaded app on both Christmas Day and New Year's Day. And throughout December, customers spent $3 billion in total on the App Store, which Apple said was another record-breaking month for the company. So in total, the App Store now offers 2.2 million apps, having increased by 20% from 2015. No wonder it's hard to find something.
It's insane, isn't it?
Yeah. Independently developed apps like Prisma, Rains, Procreate, Lumino City, Sweat with Carla, and DJ Pro were listed as some of the most successful apps of 2016. Globally, Apple said that the App Store helped raise over $17 million in both the fight against AIDS, thanks to its annual Product Red campaign, as well as for the World Wildlife Fund, thanks to Apps for Earth program. The Chinese App Store has grown 90% in 2016, and in total, the top grossing markets for the App Store are ranked as the US, China, Japan, and the UK. Looking back at the past year, App Store developers made $20 billion in 2016, which the company said was up 40% from 2015. So that's not bad.
Not at all.
I know there are a lot of developers, but it's still,
It's incredible.
and that's all. That's none of that was around 10 years ago. None of it.
No, that's right. Whole completely new industries,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, while we're on about Apple app stores, the all-new iMessage App Store also got a mention, with Apple announcing that 21,000 iMessage apps are now available for users to install.
Far out.
How do you keep up? Data gathered by Sensor Tower back in September accounted for just under 2,000 iMessage apps in the App Store, with sticker-related apps remaining the most popular throughout the year.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
They've made it so easy for people to put those iMessage apps in, haven't they?
They have.
I don't think developers license. It's so easy, and clearly a few people have done it.
Yes, and good on them too. I just use every now and again I use my old iMac logo and that sort of stuff, like the really old one. So,
Yep.
Now Nike shares funny Apple Watch Nike Plus video series starring Kevin Hart. Nike shared a series of humorous new Apple Watch Nike Plus videos, which star comedian Kevin Hart as the man who kept running. Hart is positioned as a Nike Plus Apple Watch owner who was so taken with the device that he couldn't stop running. In the first video, Kevin is shown unboxing the new Apple Watch Nike Plus in October, followed by a message that says he disappeared the next day. Months later, a film crew found him in the desert 700 miles from home, reads the text in the video. And there's a lot of the videos there, and they're worth a look.
Okay.
Especially for you, because you've got your Nike Plus watch.
Yeah, exactly. I'm loving it too. I'll tell you a little.
Yeah.
I think I told you this yet once. I'll tell you a little thing about that later.
Yeah. So I've got another story.
Oh, we can go into it now, I suppose.
Oh yeah, no, go for it. Yeah, that's a good idea, wouldn't it? Just to break it up, stop me waffling on.
While we're on Nike. While we're on Nike, I hadn't actually used it for swimming before. That's one of the main things, obviously. But turned on the water thing. Excuse me. Told it I wanted to do a pool workout, and it asks you, okay, how long is the pool you're going into? And I just told it how long it was, and that's all I did. Started it up. I didn't worry about setting anything else up. Yeah. And you get out, and it tells you, okay, you've done this many laps. This is how far you've gone, and it tells you what your dominant stroke was. So, dominant stroke was breaststroke or freestyle, or one time it told me dominant stroke was mixed. Obviously, I've done a bit of both. But it was really cool.
Drowning.
Yeah, exactly. Dominant stroke was you're bloody exhausted and you're just about drowned, you idiot.
But how cool is that? That is awesome, isn't it?
Yeah. It was really kind of fun. I was just telling someone about it the other day, and it's there's so many things with the watch that are like that. There's nothing that's sort of earth-shattering or must-have or whatever.
Yeah.
But you just keep getting little surprises that are nice,
Yeah, and that's the best part. Best part of finding something is just the little things, not the really big astounding things that go on and on. It's just the little ones that you find every now and again.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, awesome. iOS 10 now installed on 76% of active iOS devices. Nearly 4 months after iOS 10 was released to the public, the operating system is installed on 76% of devices, according to new numbers posted on Apple's App Store support page for developers. iOS installation rates have grown significantly over the holiday period, jumping up 13 percentage points between the end of November and the beginning of January. 18% of devices continue to run iOS 9 and 6% of devices are running iOS 8 or earlier. So that would be iPhone 4s probably getting back there. And still being used great.
Sorry.
No, go for it. Yeah.
I was just going to say it's I sort of thought it might be even a little bit higher than it is, but it's still excellent compared to, the Android universe.
Yeah, and it's very important to keep the updates up, everybody, just for security reasons, because people are trying to get us now, seriously trying to get us. So.
Yeah, indeed.
So, yeah. So, Apple CEO Tim Cook, we have great desktops in our roadmap. So, just after our last show last year, it was announced that in a post to an Apple message board obtained by TechCrunch, Apple CEO Tim Cook assured employees that the company is still committed to the Mac and that great desktops are coming. And just as a side note there, Intel just released the chips for the next range of Macs, we believe, but they're about 7 months late or whatever, so they've only just released them. So,
yeah.
Apple's desktop computers haven't seen an upgrade in at least 433 days. Some folks in the media have raised the question about whether we're committed to desktops, Cook wrote. If there's any doubt about that with our teams, let me be very clear. We have great desktops in our roadmap, and nobody should worry about that. Cook says that the desktop is very strategic to Apple because the performance desktops can provide in really important to a lot of people, critical for some people. He says that the current iMac is the best desktop Apple's ever made, and its 5K display is the best desktop display in the world.
You know what? A Mac Pro is the best Mac Pro they've ever made. But would you buy one now? It's not saying a whole lot.
Probably not at the moment.
Does this mean? But it is the best one they've ever made.
Yes.
And so is the Mac Mini. I just come on.
I still love the Mac Mini. I seriously love the Mac Mini, but
yeah, but the latest one was actually. I don't even know if the latest Mac Mini was the best one they've ever made. In terms of processor and stuff, it was a bit of a step backwards from the previous, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
so let's hope.
What people are using it for, I don't think it matters.
Well, quite possibly.
And
quite possibly.
It keeps the temperature down and all that sort of stuff. So.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. True enough.
Especially seeing, as we got an aside here, there's still some issues with the older MacBook Pros that have a video problem, and they seem to get exacerbated with 10.11 and 10.12, especially at the beginning. They tend to use the fans a bit more, as you're aware, like your iMac, but then after a couple of updates, they're getting back to being cooler, and we think that's to do with the graphics chip getting hotter, and because remember they're using that to do co-processing and stuff, so it's just working it all the time. So maybe the first heatsink they put in, 5 years ago, and then introduced co-processing, maybe the heatsink just wasn't quite enough or something. So, in regards to its future roadmap and how Apple employees can help push the company forward, Cook says that you can rarely see precisely where you want to go from the beginning. Instead, Cook argues that pulling strings to see what's coming next is one of Apple's strengths, noting that the creation of Apple Watch led to the creation of Research Kit, which led to the creation of Care Kit. And Cook concludes the post by saying the company doesn't do things for a return on investment, it explores new things because it's exciting and might lead somewhere. Yeah, go.
That is a fantastic thing with Apple, I think. That's so much has grown out of that. So yeah, bring it on.
Yeah, and definitely like the Care Kit and from Research Kit to Care Kit, that means nothing right now because it takes 5 years before you can get permission to do medical stuff.
Mm.
They've got to do lots of tests in the background, and you hear about little bits of it, but it just takes so long to get permission to do things in the medical field for obvious reasons. The lack of refreshed Mac hardware can be attributed to a combination of Apple waiting on chip makers and suppliers to ship their new products, and the Cupertino company's renewed focus on iPad. I don't think there's a renewed focus. I think they're just...
Well, let's hope we get a March event similar to last year, that sort of time period, and there's some nice updates to the iPad.
Well, I got
because there certainly wasn't much in iOS 10 so far.
I got my first big iPad Pro.
Oh, did you?
Yes, and
Fantastic.
haven't used it a lot yet. Just because I've been doing the server stuff and I've been up hours and hours and hours. But I play with it just a little bit. I was going to use it tonight and have the notes, our show notes on one page and another page showing, so I can do web searches and stuff while we're talking or talk to people. But it doesn't fit in my iPod stand. So
oh no! So you're back to the iPod.
Yeah.
So that was a Christmas present, was it, Michael?
Yeah, for myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I got my wife while we're on Christmas present. She got the keyboard and case for it.
Okay. Yeah.
Because the case that I gave her for it was just about this time last year was totally crappy. It was just a cheapie.
Yeah.
So replaced the case. So I got her the keyboard, the
Excellent.
Apple keyboard.
So I hope she loves you even more now.
Well, of course, how could she
unless
not?
you're out to play every Monday night for another year.
I don't think she cares, actually. Like, this keyboard, it's all good, but, it's a little bit more annoying to use than just opening up.
And the son's watch?
Yes.
Is he enjoying that?
He is. Well, he was until, a minute after he had it, he got a black dot in the top right-hand corner, which grew and grew and grew.
Yeah.
So it is off under Apple Care at the moment, getting replaced.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I'm
So
sure
$99 though.
Yeah.
$99 and you'll get a fresh one.
There you go.
Yeah.
Didn't take you long, did it? Is that why you gave it to him?
Didn't I thought, geez, either he was really rough on it really quick after I had it for more than a year, or I pretty much smashed it before I gave it to him.
Or it just got upset because it had been left alone for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it could be that too.
Yeah. So, Nokia and Apple are suing each other over patent stuff.
Oh, excuse me.
Nokia announced that it has filed several complaints against Apple in Germany and the United States, accusing the Cupertino company of infringing on Nokian patents. Nokia's lawsuit stems from a disagreement between Apple and Nokia over licensing fees for Nokia technology. And Apple filed an antitrust lawsuit against several patent assertion entities that it claims are attempting to collect excessive fees for Nokia patents through lawsuits and royalty demands. According to Apple, Nokia's failing cell phone business has prompted Nokia to transfer patents to patent assertion entities to get out of the fair and reasonable non-discriminatory licensing deals it established for essential patents, allowing the company to collect higher royalties. And from Apple's complaint, with its cell phone business dying, Nokia began to seek out willing conspirators and to commence its legal patent transfer scheme in full force. That scheme has continued in full effect to the present. The driving force behind Nokia's strategy was to diffuse its patent portfolio and place it in the hands of patent trolls.
Well, they're a company. They've got to try to find a bit of money where they can, I suppose, but bugger off.
and what's interesting too, and so Apple's taken all. So Nokia own a company called Withings, Withings, who.
Oh, was that owned by Nokia?
Yeah, they bought them last year.
Okay.
I think around or just after CES last year, and they just at CES this week, announced new HomeKit accessories, but they can't sell them in the Apple Store now because Apple don't sell them.
Yep.
So all
Oh
of these
dear.
little challenges going on.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tit for tat, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. So that one will go on for a while, I think.
Yeah, you'd think Apple would want as many as much HomeKit enable stuff as they could get as well, though, because
Yeah. Yeah.
they really need to
But I
see
think
some.
it's just, it's just that they happen to be owned by Nokia, so you don't want to play fair. Well, anyway.
Then again, Samsung and Apple haven't played fair for years.
Yeah.
And yet, they kept on using their screens. So it's not like they won't do business with companies. They've moved away from that now, I believe, but still, for a long time, you're in the middle of these wars, and you're still using Samsung as a major supplier of chips and screens and so forth. Yeah. So they don't always let their whatever the word is, don't always get on the high horse if it doesn't suit them. That's what I mean. I thought, with the Internet of Things, with HomeKit, there's need all we can get.
I'm loving it now. So
yeah.
Still cheating HomeKit. It's excellent. So we've got to remember to promote Aussie Tech Radio at aussietechradio.com. We've got the Aussie Tech Security Podcast, and we've also got the famous Aussie Tech Heads podcast. It's all part of the Aussie Tech Heads network. So, signing documents. We're on to a how-to here. So
this is a great little tip, Michael. You tell them
it's awesome.
How to do this one. Yeah, this is awesome.
I've done it a few times. It's just, and it doesn't matter where you are, we can get it done. So every now and then we get an email, we have to print out, sign, and return to the sender, for example. So the trick is sign a piece of white paper with a heavy pen because it makes it easier to scan. So you just sign your name, use your signature on a nice bit of white paper, and you open the document, and it can be a PDF or a JPEG. It doesn't really matter as long as it opens in preview. And in preview, you go to the tools menu and select annotate and select signature. And then it'll say hold your piece of paper in front of the camera. So you're just holding it in front of the camera on the Mac, whether it's your desktop, your laptop, a Mac Mini with a webcam plugged in, doesn't really matter. And this will create a signature file that you can use next time if you wish. So you just go through the steps. You've annotated where the signature's got to be. You hold it up, and then that'll actually save that file. So you can choose that signature file, or you might have, if you're working in an office, you might have a file for yourself, and a file for your boss, and a file for the other boss, and the other boss, and then you can just add them as necessary.
And whenever you need to take a bit of annual leave, just there you go.
Yeah, in legal manner as possible. Yeah. So just be aware. But yes, and it works like a beauty. Just really quick, simple. You're up and running.
So does it do all the rescaling of the, scale it to size, or do you need to do that? Or
well, you just scale it to size by moving the annotation box up and down. Once the signature's in there, you can move it up and down, turn it a little bit, whatever's necessary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Rotate the annotation box, whatever.
Hmm.
Works like a beauty. But yeah, if you just use a slightly heavier pen so that it picks it up nicely, that's all.
Yep. A good black pen rather than a blue one or whatever.
Yeah. And maybe like I use just not a super fine point, but a fine point texter as opposed to using a biro, for example. Things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Finding text on the web page in Safari for iOS on the iPhone or the iPad. So I'm sure you do this all the time, but I tend to forget.
Yep, you just... You know what? Well, give us the steps anyway.
Yeah. So open Safari and go to a website you wish to search. So you can go to, in the example, osxdaily.com, which is wonderful and informative. And then you tap on the top of the screen to make the URL bar and sharing buttons visible. Then tap on the share button, which looks like a little box with an arrow coming out of it. Scroll through the secondary action items in the sharing options and scroll past favorites, add bookmark, copy, etc. to find on page, and then type the text or the number to match within the current web page, and hit search, and it'll find what you're looking for. And you can use the arrow keys to get to the next one, etc. Yeah, so
very handy little feature. And what I was just going to quickly say is that share button. I don't know, where there's so much stuff in there that you wouldn't necessarily think, like the request desktop site and create a bookmark even is in there, isn't it?
Yeah.
All that sort of stuff. So I don't know, people I know with my wife or people who don't use it a lot, you're teaching someone the iPad or iPhone or whatever, always get them to check out the share button, because in every app there's always a heap of stuff in there that you may not necessarily expect to have in there. Sometimes you'll need to go in and enable additional features as well. If you've got other apps that are supported in, app A is supported in app B, you might have to go in there and enable it. But always check out that little square with the arrow coming out of it. Because whatever you're trying to do, when you're frustrated about trying to do something, it might just be in there that that the thing you're looking for is found.
Yeah, it's very true. There's so much stuff in there on different apps. Yeah, so one of those exciting little places to go. So the clock app on iOS has a new sub app. So we're all familiar to the alarm, timer, stopwatch, wall clock. So I was surprised to see a new bedtime section. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. To get the kids to, is it so that I can tell stories to the kids on its own, or does a fairy tale every now and again? But so it's to help my sleep pattern.
Exactly.
Yeah, it asks what time you like to wake up, what days you want the alarm to go off, how many hours sleep do you need when to remind you to go to bed, say 15 minutes before bedtime or 30 minutes before bedtime, whatever, and what sound you like to be woken by of the little tunes that they've got. It's not, there's birds and being in the forest or whatever, and then it'll tell you it's time to go to bed. It's just try and get your sleep patterns going, and then these sleep patterns will then be monitored in your health app. So we'll see how it goes, because I've only just started getting into that.
Okay. I've been using that since it was in the betas way back when, and it seems pretty reliable now. Like at first there was a lot of issues with the reminder to go to sleep not coming up and so forth. But and you know what? I'd forgotten all about the fact that the sleep data was held in the health app. So I haven't even looked at it lately. So I'll have to show, because I've got months of it worth there. So I should just see what it's trying to tell me.
See whether you're any good or not. See whether you've had any sleep in the last 6 months.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, anything else, my friend?
No, Michael. No, not at all. I don't think there was too much from CES that we need to cover here. It was all pretty. I don't know, the bit of coverage that I have heard from CES, I was yawning through most of it, to be honest.
Yeah, there was a couple of new MacBook Pro docking stations that range in price from $250 US to $500 US, and I saw OWC have got one now that the laptop sort of sits in, so it actually makes it thick again, like a 2011 MacBook Pro, but it's got 3 USB 3 ports. It's got an Ethernet port. But it just sits on the desk, and your laptop slides into it and makes it a lot thicker laptop. So
yes, a huge big thick laptop.
But if it's on your desk, it doesn't matter really. So.
Well, I suppose so, if you're not taking it anywhere. But in that case, if you're not taking it anywhere, why not just use a docking station? So with that one, it really needed the battery in there, I think, to make it useful. If you're going to make your laptop that much thicker, give me a battery as well. There must be space in there. It sounds like it was so freaking big.
I've been using a bit more HomeKit over the holidays, and I'll use my watch to turn lights on and off. And I've had a bit of a funny thing the last couple of nights where I've woken up to do my nightly walk, and at like 3:30 at night, the lights are on. So my wife's been away and come back, and one morning it was 4 o'clock. I noticed they were on. So I've asked her where she's been going at night, but she hasn't told me yet, because it's got one of those geolocation things that when she comes in and it's after sunset, the lights come on. So they've been coming on. So she's either been sleepwalking,
she's gone somewhere and hasn't told you.
yeah, or sneaking out.
Far out. Have you noticed any strange taste in your coffee lately?
So there you go.
Yeah, you'll have to. I don't know what you're going to have to do there, Michael. I don't know. You need more than just the lights coming on. You'll need some cameras.
Yeah, I've got cameras, but I don't know why they're coming on. So I admittedly haven't looked at the two devices that are involved with HomeKit. One being the Apple TV version 4 downstairs, and one being a Mac TV unit downstairs. Whether the date and time's wrong on them, so it thinks it's in, another time zone or something.
Maybe.
Or a phone's resetting overnight and it goes away and comes back. I don't know.
Yeah, even I think sometimes that geolocation stuff can get a little bit, hasn't got a very good GPS signal, and it puts it at the nearest cell tower. And then grabs the GPS and comes back again, or whatever. Stuff like that can happen, I think. So.
And I have been having a really weird one. This one, I haven't actually researched it at all yet. When my son rings me, and we're all on the same Vodafone plan, but when my son rings me, and we talk for about 10 seconds, my phone disconnects. Then it says no signal. Then it reconnects, and I've got heaps of signal. And only when he rings me.
Wow. He's on an iPhone too?
Yeah.
That is just bizarre.
It is really weird. I got no idea about that.
Is there anything else? So all the other phones on your plan, are they all the same?
No, they're all different phones. It's all to do with the hand-me-down routine,
Yeah, so where is he on the list?
No, but he's probably the same as mine now.
That's what I'm wondering. If they're both trying to do Wi-Fi, like maybe Vodafone are trying to introduce some sort of Wi-Fi calling or something like that. And
don't know. So I have to ring Vodafone and ask them, but it's really weird.
That sounds like a question for Whirlpool, I reckon.
Yes. So, my friend.
All right, I think we've welcomed back the new year.
So Facebook appears to have worked. We've had some new camera angles. I've just got to do a bit more, lower thirds and get some ads ready, and but it appears to work all right.
Very good.
Nick hasn't dozed off yet, so
not for the want of trying.
So all the best.
No.
All right, happy New Year, all you listeners. Thank you for
Aussie Mac Zoners.
Yeah. All right, we'll look forward to it. Thanks, buddy.
Good night.